All right, is that letting you in there now?
All right, hold on.
My goodness, there's some sunshine occurring out there.
Join Hangout. Hold on, this is different now. So now I got a thing that says join Hangout.
Yep.
Yep, that's what you gotta do.
I think you should be good.
I don't know. Yeah. It's getting a little. I feel this is going to happen. Missed the call? I don't think I missed anything. Nothing's happening. Okay, now trust. I got to trust.
It's not for you.
I hate that. That's about not wanting to trust this thing. Okay, I have read the understand the information. Okay, I got it. Join.
And there's Elliot.
All right. How are we doing?
All right. So do you can you hear me from the?
So I don't get feedback.
Yep. All right.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Over this now?
I'm with you now. You sound like a radio announcer now.
Radio announcer.
Sound like a radio announcer. That's
All right, there I am.
all right. Great.
Oh wow, you're loud.
Okay. How's the volume sound?
Volume is good for an old guy.
Okay. Great. Yeah, we got this fancy mic here that.
It's good. It's good that you have a fancy mic. There you are.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Oh yeah, that's a very good mic.
Yeah, it does the trick, but it's got some gain options to make it picks up everything. It picks up little tiny taps and everything. So,
You know, Greg, one of the questions I was going to ask you is, did anything ever happen with those GoPros?
yeah, so I've been getting them into some hands. So I sent it down to the Met in Providence to I don't know if you know Brian Matthews. He's an advisor in justice.
Yeah.
So I sent it to him. He had it for a couple weeks and got some video that was okay quality stuff. And then I had a few students from VLAX take it as well. So I got some video of some students doing some stuff around playing harp and getting some credit for it. So my goal was actually to try to set up a visit down to Providence and go to the Entrepreneurial Center and get a bunch more footage from those guys as well around some of those student projects and stuff. I think the thing with those is that at least in the short run, in terms of getting some video stuff, like it really needs to be done. Like I probably need to go with an advisor, like to some internship site visits and actually, get the video set up that way so that we.
So I was thinking of it in another context.
Yep.
And the way I'm thinking about it is a little bit different. The way I'm thinking about it is that the students actually take the stuff and whatever they're doing outside of school, get a shot of their performance, whatever that performance is, whether it's skating or making something. And that's what we're really kind of looking for.
Yeah.
But, right? How you doing, Seal? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And
okay, we said we were going to do that, but
yeah,
that fits into this learning plan stuff. That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah. So my
spinning a pencil, Seal. Are you spinning your pencil or just holding your pencil?
I'm spinning it.
You are?
Big Picture does that,
What's that?
Does internship visits. We did like a sort of a promotional video for Big Picture.
I'm a big pencil spinner too.
It's helpful.
Yeah.
What's going on with this weird, I don't like it. It's driving me crazy. You look like a monster.
Original. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
That's funny stuff on
Like Frankenstein.
Oh, like that.
So Yeah, no. So my thought was, I think one of the things I talked about earlier was using GoPro has some studio software that you can use to make these sort of like this certain style of edit. And so my thought was that if we collected some video to give some examples, and then that way there would be a format for people to actually go in, and students would take the cameras and do what you said, go on their internship, or if they're working on a project, they'd be able to capture video. But I think for the first, I think we need to have some examples of what that looks like for for people to be able to see and to go with it.
Is that for evidence?
Yeah.
Yeah, evidence.
Well, it would
Yeah,
be-
that's a huge topic in big picture. So
Yeah, no, we've had these cameras out there for a year, and I thought that the students were going to capture what they were doing outside of school that kind of nobody really even knows about.
Yeah.
In terms of performance stuff that they've been working on and trying to get better at things. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think we should really think about that when it comes to the learning plans, because that's that out of school learning thing. I made up a new word here instead of internships. For younger children, I called it experience-ships.
Right. Yeah, I saw that in the
It might be
on the slide
I
here.
want to leave out, somebody's going to say, well, the young kids, they can't have internships because they can't. I said, okay, no problem. We're going to call them experience-ships.
Right.
Solve that problem right away.
That's exactly what Big Picture was working on this year with accepting ninth grade students. So I got to sit in on some conversations regarding how they should proceed with that sort of situation. So they actually came up with a sort of a similar solution, but instead of having full-time or full-time for Big Picture students, full-time internships, just doing arranged programs with the advisors that allow them to have a range of different experiences, like different tastes of different subjects, and most of them will be community-based,
Yeah.
community-based explorations.
So that you were doing that while being in Goddard, you were sort of spending time with.
Yeah, but I do that
South
anyways.
Okay.
I do that anyways, though. That wasn't for school. That was
Okay.
just for my own personal.
Okay.
I just do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think you might have gathered, but Seal graduated from the Big Picture South Burlington program last year
Mhm.
Right.
and is pursuing undergraduate studies at Goddard, specifically in education, right? I forget the
Community ed and publishing and editing.
nice.
Community ed.
Community ed, yeah.
Yeah.
In specific. I worked for the past 2 years as a writing coach for kids at the elementary, middle school, and college level. And that experience is much more beneficial for me than being a teacher. So community ed is, yeah. I mean, I worked as a student teacher.
No, that's what this is. I understand that completely.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than being a teacher in a school. We got to do all this other nonsense. Do the other stuff. So, okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. So I now think did we ever meet?
You and I know. I met Litke though.
Yeah.
Met Dennis.
Yep, that's right. Okay.
I'm one of the people that presented with him at the 2013 Roland Conference.
Right. Greg
That's what I
tweaked my brain a little bit, so I knew that part too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can we bring this back around for a second though? So I have a question regarding, I'm just going to do it on mine because it'll be less frustrating for me. So right now, as far as introductions go, obviously that's very straightforward. So mapping the PLP landscape. So what's going on in here is we're going to just touch on lightly these subjects and how they fit into a PLP. So who of you is doing that? And do you guys have any possible? I guess it wouldn't.
Yeah,
really
so
make a
that's-
difference, because these two, I was looking at these and I was confused as to which one is.
Yeah. So that
Which one's the one that
I'm
covers
going
it?
through.
Question.
Yeah. So I'm going through all those ones. So really slides 3 through 9, I believe, are
Okay.
ones that I'm going to go through that are all about that mapping the landscape. So the idea
Yeah.
is really to talk about and to highlight sort of, obviously there's a lot of excitement, a lot of stuff going on specifically around personalized learning plans as the kind of piece that's been legislated. But, when you're really going through it, it involves all these other aspects. And the context is that those are going to be we're going to be highlighting those through this series of webinars that we're going to be covering over the next
Okay,
year. So we'll be
so-
covering those topics through the course.
Okay, so this is just
I want to ask people to give their suggestions. Show me what this looks like when you got the slides on.
Yep. So if we go here and then share.
So of these two
Hold on 1
slides,
second here.
systems and training. So this is all the stuff that's going in there.
Okay, so this should be, are you seeing that now?
Yeah, I am, but I don't see you explaining. Am I going to see you and the slides, or you?
You can't.
You can't.
That's not how that works. So you're gonna have to suck it up for a minute.
That's my question.
You can hear us though, right? Is that acceptable?
Oh, I hear you great. I just see me. That's all. That's why.
Right.
Oh, can you not see the screen?
I
So
see.
he can see the screen, but when we're presenting, he can't see us. He
Oh,
just sees.
well.
Yeah, so I was planning to go kind of back and forth between, going back and forth between the camera and the slides.
Good. Good. So somebody, remind yourself to do that, because
Yeah.
I think it's very helpful that they see person.
I mean, we can also, in addition to that, we can give them access to that presentation and ask them if they seek to follow along,
Right.
potentially. How do you guys feel about that? Because all it would take is putting the link to it in the chat. So making this available by link, but then just plopping the link in the chat for
Right.
people who want to view it.
Okay. So maybe what I'll do, I'll bring.
Do they see me while you're talking? Because I see me.
Yeah, I see you. Do you go full screen when you're talking? I see you in like a little window. You have a little
Yeah, I'm
window.
in a little window down on the bottom, and everybody sees me, right?
Right. Yep.
So I got to behave myself.
Yeah. You
Yes.
can always turn
Walk
your
away. I can't start writing other stuff. All that.
Yeah. Well, if you move your cursor into like the main window, you should get a little like bar at the top that has some icons. Like there's a hang up symbol, a gear symbol, a little video camera. So you can go and turn your camera off.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yep, so there you go. You're off.
You crack me up.
And I think I have that ability also I think I can mute people.
All right.
I can also kick you
You're
out.
the censor here.
What's that?
You're the censor and the director.
Yeah. Yeah. I can boot people or not if we need to, but I don't
That's
think.
cool. All right. That's good.
Good as far as the mechanics go. I'm fairly adept at,
Oh, that's
navigating the. Huh?
I said I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah. And we could potentially bring Seal's computer in and have hers running as a camera as well. So we have video side by side of alongside with the slide.
Side by each.
So that it would be two separate
Right.
things.
Do that. Why don't we do that?
It won't work.
Oh,
But the reason why it won't work, to give you a brief explanation, is because I am not on here because this is in this chat. I wouldn't have administrative access. So, I mean, I guess
Theoretically, Elliot
because,
doesn't either, but he can be talking and he's not muted, so we're.
well, however, the thing is, you have to think about it from the perspective of the viewer,
Yeah.
because right now we don't see him unless he starts to speak.
Right.
So it doesn't switch to him until he speaks.
you can't see me now. Only when I talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if it were these two and I were trying to run the presentation at the same time as you were trying to speak, it wouldn't be what we're showing.
Right.
So it doesn't matter anyways.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
You're gonna invite people. There's my sound. There's my setting.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can go back and forth, and I will put the link to the spreadsheet into the slideshow into the comments there, so we have that as well.
And these are those Google effects where you can put mustaches on people.
Yep. Nice.
Hey.
Okay,
so
so
it's currently 3:14. These are killing my ears, and
Okay.
I have really sensitive ears.
Okay.
So I'm
Yes,
gonna
I'll
go
notice.
run up and see if my boyfriend's left his.
You have why are you wearing them? Babies. I'm not wearing them.
What's
that? Microphone?
yeah, well, if I think if we're not using headphones, then the microphone can pick it up weird, and I get a
No,
bunch.
you sound great, Greg. You sound fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. All good. So what are we going to stay online here?
Well, I was certainly planning to stay online because I think that if I go off, then it's gonna. I think it's gonna.
No, I'm glad we tested everything ahead of time.
Yep. So if you want to duck off and come back on in 15 minutes, then that'd be fine. Or if you want to stay on, that's fine too. So.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little more awkward going back and forth between the slideshow and the and this here, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I can just walk through these pieces there. Okay. All right. So I had a bunch of people did respond back this morning to our emails around the ones I'd sent out, sort of following up on stuff. So I think she'll see some people joining pretty soon. So.
Well, teachers are never on time, so the things outside of teaching, that is.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel fairly clear on my involvement in this here thing. I don't have another set of headphones, unfortunately, so I will make do.
And we're back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Elliot still there?
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
I am right here.
Good, good.
Okay.
Good. All right. Are we talking, the only thing that I'm not seeing in this, or maybe I haven't seen yet, are we talking about how these fit into proficiency-based graduation or, point-based graduation?
Yeah. So
is that going to be just one of the future sessions?
It's in there is a couple things.
Standards. Okay.
In the mapping part, I definitely touch on it as one of the things that is part of this, right? So PBGR is part of this whole thing. And then there's one little bit here about standards where I really tried to say, these things here, which we're not gonna be able to read, but there's definitely we have some context around, proficiency-based resources for whether they're these ones here are the ones like you use at South Burlington,
yep.
you have the learning standards. So
yep.
that will be a separate strand of things.
Okay.
I just wanted to read.
And for schools that aren't transferring over to proficiency-based ed yet.
Well, the thing about the the policy is that it's making no longer a choice.
It's 2016.
It's going to be.
It's going.
Yeah, they are going to have to make that shift.
Yeah, Winooski is doing that 6-year shift.
Right.
I don't know how good of a plan that is myself because it doesn't really seem to be culturally intelligent, but anyways.
Yeah. Oh, yep. So there's
it's a different point.
Yeah.
Different conversation.
And then in the learning plan piece, there's definitely some links in there about the proficiency part. So how does the project address your piece? So when we're looking at your learning in your learning plan, we'll have it in there. It's also part of.
I'm going to make some criticisms.
Good.
Or push people, and Seal, you should as well, because Greg's got to kind of run this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to do a little provoking too.
Okay, that's fine. I'm always good at being devil's advocate.
I could tell. This is good. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
Ask Greg. I'm not too bad at it myself.
All right.
He gave me this little brief forewarning. He said, Elliot is very straightforward, so don't be taken aback. I was like, I'm never taken aback. People are taken aback by me.
That's right now. I'm from Brooklyn. We don't mess around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't mess around. It's part of who we are.
yes. Um, okay, so we're going to go through an overview of these prior to my student story.
Yeah. So,
Okay, and then it's going to be, I come in where?
okay. So basically,
Student.
a little before that. So, here,
Before, oh, right
okay.
there.
So basically, we're gonna go through these mapping. Let me just show you the things here. So we're gonna go through these mapping pieces here and kind of framing out where PLP sits with all these other things, right?
Yeah,
So student
where
choice and
the line
voices.
is, where the connection is.
Right. And
Yep.
then there's also these other, when you're thinking about it for a school, there's a whole bunch of systems you need to have in place and training things. There's also how the school is going to take a philosophy for it. Are they going to try to do this and keep some semblance of traditional classes for a couple of years? Or are they going to kind of go all in and say, we're going to do this whole, drastic change? Or are they valuing out of school learning or not? Is it going to be interest-based? So those are all conversations that a school has to come up with their philosophy and how they're going to do that.
It's been super fun figuring that out for South Berlin.
Yeah. And then so from that kind of going really wide to that part, then we're going to kind of tighten it back in and say, this is how the big picture approaches it. We're one student at a time. We focus on relationships, relevance, and rigor. Students are the center of the learning. An advisor works with them and brings in parents and mentors. And then we're going to kind of, then transition a little bit more specifically to what are personalized learning plans. And that's where we're going to hit these things about, they are personalized for each kid. They're not just a new schedule, right? And then same thing, a few more points on that. And then
I went through and read all.
One thing I wanted to do was to highlight that there's tons of different PLPs that are out there. So we have the Agency of Ed has one that they suggest as a recommendation. Then there's the VP South Burlington one. Then
my
there's
heart
one
goes
that
out for you.
Elliot shared with Elliot came up with a Vermont BPL PLP thing. And there's quite possibly that people are going to have ones that they're already using. So, so really I was going to kind of set that tone and say, for the purpose of this, pick one of these.
Yep.
And then that's when I'm just really briefly touch on the standard thing. And then I got to add, I actually do one more thing here. This is gonna shift to you. And so we'll be on this slide for a while for you to kind of give your background, your story there. Yeah. And then we'll drop into the questions about the actual 5 phases here.
So I find that especially the noting that for each school, for each community, it's important to recognize that the systems will be different, and obviously you guys know that. However, I think that for teachers, they're used to, here's my my learning plan for the class, here's my objective, my goal. And I think they get really stuck in that mode. So I think, and intimidated by that mode in particular. So I think that with the note on, this is just one of the many ways that it can be done, just being culturally sensitive to your area, to your school, to your population is really important to me.
Right. There's also a state mandate and a context.
Yeah.
These things, you want to include some stuff around. People say, well, they don't learn. A lot of teachers might say they don't learn anything outside of school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and that's where this piece right here, I didn't want to get too policy heavy on it because the policy is really thick and heavy, but I did pull this one quote from it that just said that local graduation requirements, students may receive credit for learning that takes place outside of school, the school day, or the classroom. And I thought that as far as keeping it clean and keeping it to the point to saying, we're not going to talk about where Common Core and all these things line in the next generation science standards and everything else like that all ties in. But for the moment, we're going to say we've got some latitude because this is what the education quality standards say. They are saying go outside and bring the school, go outside in and inside out. Yeah.
So I feel really good about this. Thanks for answering my questions about that. I think that was really valuable for me in particular because the rest of this is just really straightforward. And I think that my involvement prior to that will be incredibly minimal, but after that, probably just putting in short little bits. Do you
Well, I hope not. And
last, like,
I think what makes a good program is when people challenge each other a little bit. That's all right. That's cool.
Yeah.
well, I don't think Greg and I have opposing views or anything. I
No,
just
me and you.
oh.
You're saying pushing on other people.
Yeah, let me, push back just like you just did.
Yeah.
That's important to get people, keep people engaged in something like this, where you aren't just going blah 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 blah. Hold on a second here. That kind of stuff. That's all right. That's all right. And you have you have some good opinions, and voice them. Don't just sit back. That's what I'm saying. Challenge everything.
I never do. But in the last couple of minutes before we go in, do you guys just want to, because I talked to Greg, Elliot, would you like to hear sort of a synopsis of what I'm planning on discussing? Would that be something good, or what is a better way to use our time?
I heard you say that before, and I was in my internal processing, I was going, I like part of the element of, I like surprise.
Okay, sure.
Respond to the surprise, so I don't want to know everything, and that gives it more, that makes me listen better.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that's totally fine. I just wanted to know how we should best utilize the last couple of minutes before we have to get out to these.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. We have a large deck of slides here to get through. That's my only concern. And if we miss a few, Greg, that's cool with me. Less is more.
Yeah, no, I'm going to keep an eye on time for
Yeah, I was just about to start a stopwatch.
do that.
Very good. Okay. Well, are we recording this thing?
Yeah, it is. It's all being recorded.
Okay, that's a beautiful thing too.
Yep. So it's all live streamed on YouTube and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll be able to pull it apart.
Good.
Strange. When you guys said it's recording, my tummy flipped.
Well, no surprises like that too. We've got to tell people, should, because, and then that's all. That's okay. Dennis isn't here. Nobody will be swearing. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swear when he was up at Roland?
No, I think he held it together, which is
good.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Let's carry away a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And you're at Goddard right now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Very good. That's great. You like it?
I do. I don't particularly enjoy my relationship with my advisor at this moment. However, I think that it was a good experience for me to know what I don't need in an advisor. But it's also, it's been good.
Very good.
It's been good.
Very good.
It's my diplomatic way of stating that I would prefer someone else immediately.
Yeah. Do you get someone? Do you have the same advisor for 4 years, or
Oh, no. You can if you choose to. I mean, it's pretty rare. However, the first semester you can't choose.
Okay.
You can't choose. So
I think they do that.
why would they do that?
Yeah, why can't you choose? I mean, to me, that's such an important piece, a choice.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I think that really they just didn't know what to do with me. That's when I got into my advisor's advisory, I said, Francis, why am I here? Not to be offensive, but why in the bananas am I here? And he was like, I don't think they really knew what to do with you. So they just kind of put you with me. And I was like, all right, great. But I don't know, the choosing, the not choosing part for the first semester is really, I think, just to not overstress the students with having to make a choice about someone they don't really know.
Uh-huh.
So I think I think they're trying to be conscious about that.
It's something that, it's such an important thing. And I understand just getting somebody, but I also understand taking a couple of weeks and getting to know everybody and then for people making choices.
Yeah. And I think that's also good in the first semester because it's proven that they get to know you a lot better
Mhm.
And you get to know the staff a lot better with experience of being at residency.
Mhm.
So that it does give you the opportunity to get to know the other advisors, and then you have a better idea of, your choice. Hey, Greg, I'm gonna scooch this over because it's.
There's the big mic. Got your mic. You look like Larry King, Greg.
Oh, oh, he's I got a few years on me, right?
Yeah, he does. He
He
does.
does, yeah. Here.
The young Larry King.
What's that?
Young Larry.
With the mic here, I need to go more hunched over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying to get
you
the
need to have your suspenders on. Isn't he the
Oh,
one who
that's-
always wears suspenders?
Yeah, he's like got your radio voice on.
Yeah. Nice. All right, I'm just gonna. I just want to make sure. I'm gonna try to make sure I can pull this up on Seals and see what it looks like here. Just make sure we are all good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not together because it would be crowded in there with the three of us. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it kind of worked out for the best.
Yeah.
Glad you didn't show up, Elliot.
Yeah. No. I would have liked to. I like Burlington. It was like all business to get there, but I ended up in Washington D.C.
Oh,
at 4:00 in the morning.
oh,
Then I got on another flight that took forever to get here.
yeah.
No, I didn't sleep at all. Not at all. Not a wink. The whole time.
Yeah, I could see the email trail for sure. Verifying that.
Oh no, I left graduation in San Diego, and I was on a flight by 11:30
Oh, sheesh.
San Diego time, and then Chicago was the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah.
And I've been through snowstorms in Chicago. I've been through bad stuff. There was just so many people at so late at night trying to get to places, and nobody could get anywhere. It was gridlock at the airport. It was crazy.
I had heard that that in the spring, I don't know how far it extends, but I was hearing that fleets, like airline fleets, over the winter, they get so taxed and backed up with their service stuff that they end up only having a small number of sort of extra planes. So the spring, you actually end up getting worse cancellations than sometimes in the winter. In the winter, they've got all their planes ready to go, and they've got a bunch of backups.
There was tornado watch in Chicago, bad rain.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, and then nobody could take off and land. And they didn't divert. They did some stuff wrong, obviously. It's going to be on the news because it was just
It's very quiet.
unbelievable.
Should be louder now. Yeah, I can't imagine. Being responsible for that kind of stuff, having to organize and keep track of all those flights going
I
through.
would possibly lose my mind.
So,
That would be really not fun.
all right.
So
No,
I
one.
need to charge my computer. I'm just going to plug them down here because
All right.
my cord is much longer than yours. It seems. Put it here.
Okay.
Put it here.
Let's work.
Also, Oakley has one upstairs as well. So if I need an extender, I'm not worried.
Okay.
It's good to be in a household that now has the same software.
Oh gosh, is that really the preview? That's super
I think it's the
cute.
current moment there.
I think it's very helpful that they see person.
I mean,
Ugh.
into that, we can give them access to that presentation.
Ooh, that's not good.
What is that?
It's delayed on there
Well, of course it's going to be delayed.
by a lot, though. So we're definitely broadcasting because I have a thing on the bottom that's saying it's live and saying stop broadcast. If I wanted to go into that, does your window have does your window look like a normal Hangout, or does it look like something a little bit different?
It says live up on the top.
Okay. Yep. That's good.
And anybody there? Hello? Oh, no, that was me ping. My phone was pinging me.
Yep.
Did you text me something?
I did not. No.
Well. Hey, people, where are you?
I'm on the site, but
Yeah. Okay, so I've got on the site. We've got a few people who are saying that they're here, which is good. Okay.
oh, no, it's the sale going on.
Pop the cell phone.
My dog is funny.
Okay, well, interesting here.
Why?
You know, I tested this out ahead of time. I tested it out with 2 different laptops up at home and got it to work. And I'm thinking that there's some people who are trying to get in, but it's somehow keeping people keeping people locked out.
Come on in, everybody.
I don't think they hear you.
Don't hear me.
What's that?
Oh, that's no good.
Oh, sorry.
No, people are not. Shoot.
That's what they said?
Well, some people are saying they're here. I'm on site. I don't see or hear anything, but it says live. Now you're joining here, but I'm not hearing.
And access to that presentation, and ask them if they seek to follow along. Oh, it's because that's just when we went live.
Yeah.
No, that's like the reason why that's happening is because we've been live for a while.
Right.
And so they're jumping in when it was live.
It still is live.
No, I understand that, but they are getting the beginning of our conversation.
Right. Yeah, no, I gather that's what's happening, but it's
so you need to stop the broadcast and then restart the broadcast.
All right. I'm going to Elliot, I'm going to try to see if we can stop this broadcast here, and then I'm going to go back into it.
I'm with you. You tell me what I'm doing. I'm right here.
Okay. Well, you got in, which is good, but nobody else seems like they were able to get in. We should have several other people here at this point.
I'm a genius at this stuff.
What's that?
I can only hear what's
at this stuff.
Conversations. When I hit play, I get 1 minute audio, but no connection to the live event.
Yeah.
So stop the broadcast.